continuing from the last tutorial's setup here, I just deleted this under assets units folder. I just deleted that folder to get rid of that change we made. So for making a new faction, unfortunately, we still have to replace the starting fleet file. We have no way around that yet. And where we get that from is under game content game modes, main menu, blueprints, and right there, DT fleet selection. So copy this folder structure into your thing. So content, game modes, main menu, blueprint. I think that's plural. It was plural, right? Yes, it was. And then we copy that one over here. And of course, that's not open. Copy here. And there you go. Save that. And don't change its name because we are replacing it. Alright, so for the other files that we're doing, we're going to be stealing copies from the actual source. So under assets and then tunables, we're going to need a few different things here. Alright, so first on the list alphabetically is from faction data main. We're going to need to copy a pair of these, so the build list and the faction data, to our mod right there. So let's get that path added. Assets, tunables, faction data, main. Make sure that's open. Back up here. I'm going to copy the Hagaran pair here. And not drop it into my other mod, drop it into this one. Copy here. Okay, next from the source is from factions. We just need the matching one here, which is tunables faction, so add that. This one contains the AI profile. For some reason it doesn't even say anything about it, what it is in its name. It just has the name of the faction. Alright. And then one more thing from tunables, starting fleets skirmish. I'm also going to take the Garn version, but we have to add path. So under tunables, starting fleet, and skirmish. And we'll copy that one over here. Okay, now we have all the sources we need. We'll need to change our new one's names to match whatever our new faction's going to be. So I'm just going to call mine video. So I'm just going to replace the faction part with the word video and all their names. Alright, so this is going to be the weird thing about pack patching. Is in runtime, when you run your mod, this whole folder structure will cease to exist. And when we need to communicate between them, the paths won't work. So anything that you make that's new any new files in this folder structure, you need to have at least the name copied. You don't need to worry about what's in these files. You need to have one that just represents its name and copy it back to the source. So I'm going to grab the starting fleet one first and copy it into skirmish. And the idea is that because we can now have the correct paths to link them together when the runtime happens, your pack patch will put its data where it needs to be so everything can be found properly. Copy that one there. And then under main, faction data main, these two. Like that. So now they're found in the source. So now we need to link them up here. So to start, we'll open fleet selection so that we can actually pick it in game. And what we'll need to do is, I'm just going to copy that one and move it up the list because this is the actual order we'll appear in. So there's toggles here. Is co-op means it shows up in the war games list, and so true is the war games fleets and false is the skirmish fleets. So I'm just going to change the name of this line to video, and then in here you can see this one references the skirmish fleets, the actual one. We're going to change it to our new one. So now when you search a video, you'll see both of them because these things search everywhere in your file path for any matching data type. And so you'll see when you mouse over it, the path will show up. The one that's in your pack patch is the one you can't use because you need to get this path. So the one in the source is the path you want. And that's literally all you need to do to add a new fleet, actually. So at this point, you already have your own fleet added. All right. And then we can jump over to the skirmish side. And here you go. This is what you'll see in the names and stuff in the actual game menus. And then down here, you can actually choose what is in the starting fleet, what's there right at the beginning of the match. So here you can pick your mothership, put it in there, and you can also put what's in its launch bays under the hold entries, so you can have things inside, or you can just have things hyperspace in through the ships section here. And then down here under starting research, you'll have to list every single research that's relevant to your faction in here, and then this number is how complete the research is. 1 being 100%, 0 being 0%. So most of them will be 0 except for what you start with. And for Hagari, you start with a probe and 1 fighter, so these 2 are 1, and that's it. And then as you can see, there's 33 different researches for this faction. So here you can change its name to video fleet. You can change its description for when you click on it, and you get the rundown of what's in the starting fleet. And here you can also get a new picture for the button if you want. And then here you'll see faction detail. So this is where you're going to need another link here to your assets. So as you can see, this one's going to the faction data. But if you just type in video, it'll go down, and then you'll see the one in the game. You want to use that one. And then we can save that. Now in the current configuration of the starting fleet, the mothership won't be able to build anything. And that's because this mothership isn't part of this faction. It won't have access to the build list because of that. So if you want it to actually give you the build list, you can, from the Garns, you can just set it back to the F01 data one, this one here. And then that way the build list will show up but of course it won't be using your new factions build list. So the next tutorial will go into creating a new ship and making sure that you can actually build the ships in your own fleet in your new faction. So now in this one, there's nothing really necessary to change aside from the names. You can tinker with it if you want. Down here, it basically determines the priorities of the AI, what it should do, and you can set the default color scheme at the bottom. But generally, you probably won't want to do anything to this. And now you can go onto the main here. So in the faction data, this one seems to be mostly for data. So for the when it comes to the names and stuff, it's not something you're gonna really see in game. It's mostly for when you're modding. So let's go like that. And now you'll see here, faction. This one wants that AI preference thing. Get the one from game. Now this one wants a ship list. So this one explains what your actual build opportunities are, and it's next to that one there. So you can type in video as well, and then always pick the one that's in game assets. Alright, and now I believe that's all the links. Yes, okay, so those are all the links. So now all these files are connected together properly. This one here in this research collection, you'll also have to add every research that's possible. You just add it. It doesn't give the status or anything. This is just for reference. And then this one, of course, chooses your build list, which we'll edit now. And this is your build list. So this is all the ships here. And this is the order up here, and the numbers are the order because you can sort by name and stuff, but the numbers are the actual order they'll appear in. So you can see all the ships connected here. Under here, ship. If there's required research, it's there. You can add a new one, so like you can clone the one that's most similar, and add a new one. So I don't know. Let's make 2 scouts for some reason, and put it right under there. And now you will literally have a second scout on the list for no reason, just like that. And now, well, now you're set up with your new faction. So when you're adding new ships, your ship file will be pack patched as well, just as a heads up. But otherwise, you just use your video skirmish now. You don't need to worry about the vanilla structures anymore because now you're not touching the vanilla game anymore. So the Higaran fleet and the Incarnate fleet aren't going to be affected by what you do in here. So before, in the last tutorial, remember we took the units tutables fabrication, so you can also do the same with that. You can create your own version the same way as these ones, and then that way you can have your stats completely separate. But so now I'm gonna run the packaging, and we're gonna see if the new fleet shows up and runs in game. Alright, so I installed the pack, and now we're gonna see if the new fleet shows up. And there you go. And as you can see, that description part there, that's where the description would show up, and this auto-fills with what's in your starting fleet. And we'll make sure it actually launches. And this would be an exact copy of the Hagaran fleet. And there you go.